Big Rab Show Podcast is kindly sponsored by G1 Reeds. They are the champion's choice, with many bands around the world playing G1 products, providing everything you'd need to hit the circle or the big stage. So, check out g1reeds.com as they keep the lights on here at the Big Rab Show Podcast.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another Big Rab Show podcast. I've got a feeling that we've got a lot to talk about on this week's pod. Now, we're going to do a full wrap-up of all things Scottish Championships, all of the action that took place in Dumbarton, but that'll be our topic of the week. So that'll be later on in the show. But for now, let's get through our introductions then, shall we? If this is your first ever Big Rab Show podcast, well, you're welcome. We are the show for the bagpiping folk. We reflect everything in the bagpiping world, be it Celtic music, folk music, or indeed our bread and butter, which is competitive piping and drumming. Each and every week we're here talking about what we know and love to be the music of the great Highland bagpipe and its people. And yeah, that old cliche does ring true. You're listening to a podcast, so pretty much every podcast out there at the moment all have a Patreon page. So if you do want to help support our show, you can do. There's a link there in our show notes right now. Just go and check us out, The Big Rab Show, over there on Patreon, and consider clicking on that button, because you would be immediately awesome.
Let's hear it for the Patreon faithful.
Yes, head along, click that button and be part of the faithful. Woo! Yes, go ahead and check it out. There's loads of great extras there. And yeah, for your $5 a month, you get your hands on loads of extras, including our weekly Fuse FM Ballymoney radio show, our Fly on the Wall documentary series, which has been a lot of fun. Also, episodes of Rab Show Plus. There was actually an episode of Rab Show Plus produced last week. So yeah, shout out to our Patreon faithful. If you haven't checked that out yet, go and have a look at it. It's up there on Patreon. Yeah, Rab Show Plus. We also have the postscript. There's a bunch of stuff up there that is exclusive extras to our Patreon faithful. Do consider clicking on that button. All right. So that is, well, the Patreon plugged. Time to move on to listener mail. And this week's no different. bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Now, a lot, I mean pretty much all of the email that we received this past week was all talking, there's my computer binging at me, all this listener mail we got was talking about Dumbarton. Everything that happened at Dumbarton, the results, what we thought, what was our opinions on things, and yeah, we're going to raise all of those questions in our topic of the week. So hopefully that will address all of your questions. We also had a lot of logistical stuff behind the scenes, arranging things for Big Rab Show Live. You might have heard a bit. Yeah, we might be running a little small event at Piping Live. Yeah, this is what, episode 498 now? We're getting close, folks. We're getting close to the big one, episode 500. So yeah, logistical stuff behind the scenes and arranging things for Piping Live. It's becoming very real. I'll say that. So, yeah, I can't wait for it, man. It's going to be so exciting. So, yeah, to kind of bunch up all of the listener mail that we've received, it pretty much has been dominated with everything happening at Dumbarton. So we will get into that. So thank you, everyone, for your emails. They have been received. Possibly everyone that has emailed us in wanted to remain anonymous. So that's fine. We'll bring your questions to our topic and we'll not mention your name. But if you hear your question, well then, know that you contributed to the show, I guess. And if you want to contribute as well, you can email us in bigrabshow@gmail.com. Let us know. Yeah. All right, so let's kick straight into our next feature then, which is Weekly Drone. Now, we have got so many weekly drones on the shelf. It's kind of crazy. So JD, we're going to fire through these this week, buddy. We need to catch up. We've got nearly a dozen here. So, yeah, we need to catch up. So, let's start at the top. Time for Weekly Drone. JD, lay the first one on us, mate.
The weekly drone.
#lists. Rab, I've been a long-time listener and supporter and plan to continue because I feel there is a lot of good stuff on the pod. However, the games recaps and majors previews are boring. All it is, I feel, is a reading of #lists that are published online. I kind of get it for recaps, but if you want to do a preview that is interesting, how about talk about the bands that have been knocking on the door week to week and dig into what makes them contenders and worthy of our attention? Listening to the full draw and the occasional, they play a good tune, or an absolutely melt your face, is just space filler. I'd love to get some better insight into the true contenders. Otherwise, I'd prefer to hear more Meet the Bands segments, or some of your excellent interviews with the scene big guns. Please don't take this personally. I just think this is getting stale. Keep up the good work in bringing our scene to the forefront. It is appreciated. Just some constructive feedback, I hope. Cheers.
Ouch. Weekly Droner, clearly not a fan of our preview pods. Okay, they're just simply filler, and you'd want more detailed analysis of who's knocking on the door. Well, I think as part of our preview, we did get into that. I did speak about which bands to keep an eye on and which ones would be knocking on the door. I did do that. But, hey, you know, if you believe that the content is getting stale, it's becoming boring, well, fine. Yeah, we'll take that on the chin. We'll absolutely do what we can to shake things up. So we're going to do that with this week's topic then. Yeah. So you're not just going to get me giving you my own analysis of what happened in Dumbarton. Yeah, we're going to shake it up a little bit. So, yes, we always appreciate constructive criticism. Thank you. The content was just filler. It was stale, boring. Okay, those are all words that, we hate hearing, but maybe we need to hear it. So, I don't know. We got some commentary back from folks saying that they really enjoyed the preview. So, I don't know. I guess, we can't float all boats. I guess we can't please everyone, but especially that weekly droner there, we seem to quite annoy. But anyway, let's fly on. Weekly droner, we will do what we can to improve, okay? And hopefully our show will improve following your constructive feedback. Thank you. All right, JD, lay on another one then, shall you? This one's called Drink. I need one after that.
The Weekly Drone.
Pre-Worlds Warm-Up. We all know and love the Bop Whirl drinking game, and this year I'd like to propose a warm-up for it. The Big Rab Preview, if you will, where every time the phrase "absolutely thump a tune" is said, we take a drink. Ease our way into the begin.
Absolutely thump a tune. Okay. That is one of my phrases. And the other one that we mentioned earlier, melt your face, that is one of mine as well. Yeah. Do you know, I did find myself in that trap. I absolutely ran out of words to describe what I was feeling about each band I was talking about. And I've fallen foul of that many times. I think there was one of the World Championships on the ground reports. Someone actually sent me an email. I can't remember the year now, but I had said the word incredible like 50 odd times, like 52, 53 times throughout the podcast. Incredible. And that was the only word I could find on the day, because see, whenever you're at an event and you're getting smacked in the teeth with just tone and sound and brilliance, it's very difficult to find the words to how to describe it. So Bob Worrell has my every sympathy. I have total respect for what Bob does, how he can command the English language to find different words to describe something that was just awesome. So, I don't know. Bob, I take my hat off to you, mate. And yeah, for those of you going to be playing the Big Rab Show drinking game, please be careful, because there might be a few times where I would say thump a big tune or melt your face. Quite a few times. So I don't want anyone to be drunk or anything. Please drink responsibly. So, I don't know. I'm going to be careful about that one going forward. Oh, man. Right, JD, lay it on us. Give us another one. Number 3 for this week. This one's called Shafted. Oh, boy.
It's the weekly drone. Minimum tenure. Rab, we all know that running a band isn't easy. Bands going off the road due to numbers or lack of, drum corps walking shortly before a season. And we have done the transfer window chat to death. However, when it comes to leadership, should a pipe major or lead drummer have a minimum tenure when they join a band? A bit like a footballer. For example, a 3-year contract, etc. A previous weekly drone referred to pipe band jumpers. Who is the next band about to be shafted?
And that's hence the title, Shafted. Yeah, I don't know if I want to get into this point in the show because we're doing weekly drone, but for those of you in the know, I'm sure you've probably seen the big news announcements. Well, we'll just get into it at this point. I'm sure you've probably seen the announcement from Uddingston Pipe Bands. This was posted just yesterday, just before midday, and a huge announcement from Uddingston explaining how Craig Lowry, who'd been in charge of their drum corps now for the past 3 years, has decided to step away from the role. Now, the statement reads, and has left the door open, and a lot of people are now scratching their head going, where's Craig away to? Because it starts, it says, following 3 successful years leading Uddingston Drum Corps, Craig Lowry has decided to leave the band after this year's World Championships to take up a new position as leading drummer with another pipe band. Oh, now as to who that other pipe band is, we have no idea. It hasn't been disclosed anywhere. I don't think Craig himself has put it out on socials. There's been no word about it. So as you can imagine, the rumor mill starts a churning. So everyone was like, oh, right, Craig's away from Uddingston. But in the very same statement, we got announcement from Uddingston to say, well, they're delighted to announce that Les Gilbraith will be accepting the position of lead drummer. So Les is stepping across now and taking up the helm at the Uddingston. So that was unexpected. Number one, to see Craig go from Uddingston, because that's quite an end of an era there. We think Craig has done a fantastic job. There's been some performances of that drum corps, man. Seriously. So, yeah, Craig has done amazing work. And to all of the backline there at Uddingston, they've been absolutely stellar. So this is the end of an era. But to see that Les Gilbraith will be jumping across and, heading into that role, wow. I was not expecting that. And within a heartbeat, now, no joke, Rab Show team in our back room, we've a messaging group, and we say, hey, did you see the big announcement from Uddingston? Oh, my word, you have to share it out on the socials. So we did. And then within a matter of minutes, we had an update then from Livingston, Caledonia, because Les Gilbraith, of course, is lead tipper of the Livy. So, yeah, the announcement dropped. Livingston Caledonia Pipe Band would like to announce that Les Gilbraith and his drumming team have decided to leave the band to pursue a new opportunity at the end of the 2026 season. Well, we now know what that new opportunity is. Yeah, he's heading to Uddingston. So a bit of moving and shaking then, a bit of changing of the guard, I guess, for both bands. Now, Livingston have yet to announce who their new lead tipper is. If anything, in their statement, they say that they're now seeking a new lead drummer and a bunch of side drummers as well. So they said that they're ready for the next chapter, and for anyone interested, you can contact them. livycalpb@outlook.com. There you go. So they are actively searching for a new lead tipper and a few snare drummers to fill the back ranks. Yeah. So I think that's what that weekly droner is getting at. We have seen a bit of moving and shaking already. And this is the end of July at this point. We haven't even hit August yet. And we're already seeing announcements of people stepping away, people stepping into positions and taking them to new heights. It's going to be such an interesting off-season this year. with a lot of moving and shaking, but it's very unusual to see it at this point. And I think that's what our weekly droner is getting at. Should our leaders have a minimum term to serve with their band? I don't know if that's enforceable. Yeah, that's an interesting one there. I don't know. But it's been kind of the talk of the piping scene since these two announcements happened pretty much at the same time, within minutes of each other. It's all anyone's talking about. Who's going to be the new lead tipper of Livy? And just where is Craig Laurie off to? Who knows? JD, time to get into another weekly drone, but that one was an interesting one. Yeah. This next one is called Three Things.
The weekly drone.
3 things I learned this week. Hi, Rab. I learned the following this week. 1. We need to adjust the grade numbers for majors, as having bands playing from 10 a.m. to 17:56 makes for a long wait for a march past. 2. It is possible to have a major championship with free entry. 3. Leopards never change their spots, and there is zero loyalty in some quarters out there towards their own bands.
Ouch. Ouch, weekly droner. Again, I think referring to that situation that we're just talking about. Now, as for the reasons why, Les and Craig both decided to move on to pastures new, that hasn't really been divulged. Was it a lack of loyalty? In my opinion, no. It absolutely isn't down to a lack of loyalty. So I think both of these fellas have done outstanding work in their respective bands. We just mentioned how great Uddingston has been this past 3 years. Outstanding. And then, come on, Livingston, Caledonia, we've been singing their praises all year. They've been doing some really great things in the circle. So, yeah, I don't know. Lack of loyalty? I don't know. But I would love to know your opinions on that. Yeah, but as for the 3 things that you've learned, yeah, okay. You can run a major with no tickets. Yeah, we'll maybe get into that. And yeah, you mentioned that the event was way too long, but we'll probably mention that as well on our topic of the week. It was a seriously long day in Dumbarton. I agree. But there was reasons behind that, and we'll possibly discuss that in the topic. But anyway, thank you, Weekly Droner. JD, we have another one here, mate. This one's called Carousel.
It's the weekly drone. Movers and shaker. Well, the pipe band merry-go-round has well and truly started already. My question is, what makes people move bands? Is it unhappiness and disagreements in their current band? A belief that moving on will improve chances of success? Running away from a repeating theme that seems to follow them? Or is it something else? I'm a bit old-fashioned and think you should stick with your band through thick and thin. In saying that, where I live, there aren't many bands to choose from unless you're prepared to travel.
I think that's where it ends. Yeah. So the pipe band merry-go-round has started already. Yeah, that's what we were just saying there. Yeah. It's earlier this year. Normally, just ahead of the World Championships, let's say normally, but rarely you would get the odd announcement saying that someone is retiring and that the World Championships will be their last performance. I remember experiencing that whenever Dr. Richard Parks, MBE, announced his retirement. It was just shortly before the Worlds, and everyone was just abuzz, And then we knew that particular Worlds, that was his last time in the circle with FM. That's happened in a good number of people as well. Another one comes to mind is Gordon Brown with Bog Hall. Whenever he announced his retirement, again, that was the end of an era as well, and that was announced just ahead of the World Championships as well. So retirements are quite common, but movement like this that we're talking about here with Les and Craig and others, that we're singling these two guys out, but there is others that have already been moving, around the scene. We're already hearing murmurings. Yeah, as to what would motivate a player to move bands, I don't know. There's a million different reasons as to what it could be. Absolutely, personal reasons could come into play. Geography, logistics, things like that. Affordability as well. If you have another band that's on your doorstep compared to the one that you're currently playing in, perhaps are like thousands of miles away in a different country, that could be a reason why you might change. So, I don't know. There's 101 different reasons. Yes, interpersonal issues could absolutely be a thing. There could be, difficulties there. There could be arguments. There could be just personalities that you just don't get along with. And you say, hey, you know what? It's not worth it. Not hanging around. I don't need the aggro, and I'm away. I think that's one of the luxuries that we have here in the UK specifically. We are absolutely surrounded with pipe bands. We are spoilt for choice, almost. And I think that's a very valid point you put in the end of your weekly drone. If there is one band in your area and there isn't another one for thousands of miles, well, then that's kind of limited your choices then, hasn't it? Yeah. So I think that's kind of possibly what's caused this, is that there's so many options. There's so many bands out there that you could say, well, hi, I'm going to hang up the sticks. I'm going to, put the pipes in the box and forget about them. That's it. I'm not playing anymore. And then you got a phone call from someone who's just down the road from you, and you say, hey, you fancy coming and playing a tune with us? And it's very tempting. Yeah. So I don't know. Motivations for people leaving, that's on the individual. That's on each circumstance is different. I just don't know how to answer that. But it's a very nuanced question, Weekly Droner. Yeah. All right. One more, JD, and that's 6 for this week. And I think we're well and truly caught up, or at least halfway anyway. But this one is called Mickey. What's this about?
The Weekly Drone.
Pipe band beach towels. Back from Dumbarton, and a good day was had. However, one thing is starting to annoy. The staking a claim to territory at the arenas so people have a spot for the whole day whether they're there or not. There will be stampedes soon at gates opening like the Sunbed Wars in Benidorm. The chairs can be bad enough, but Dumbarton had folk with camping trolleys with lids on, with kids' toys, and one group at Arena 2 had a tent so big it should have needed public liability insurance. At least with chairs, there's a chance you can see over them, but tents are taking the mickey. Anyway, rant over. Just makes it tricky for anyone that wants to rotate around the arenas during the day.
Tents are ticking the Mickey, and that's where Mickey comes in. Do you know what, Weekly Droner? I'll let the music play out and I'll give you my immediate thoughts. You are absolutely 100% on the money with that one. And I have been waiting, absolutely waiting for someone to approach this topic. It's been happening for a long time, and now it's happened. It's happened! A Weekly Droner speaks the truth. Wow. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. For years now, ourselves and the Rab Show team, our number one priority would have been in the morning of a competition, find out where Arena 1 is, and then go and get our spot. Because we knew we had to set up our camera early. Because if we didn't, well, then our chances of filming anything in Arena 1 were extremely limited. I'm sure a lot of people remember. Famously, there was one video where we filmed Field Marshal Montgomery, their MSR. I think it was at the UK Championships, and we famously filmed the back of a kid's head because our camera was set up for the day. As soon as Field Marshal turned up, this kid stood up in the middle of the performance and would not sit back down and sat right in front of our camera. So we just deliberately kept the camera rolling. So you can go and find that video. It is up there. The guys at Field Marshal actually found that very funny. But for the longest time, we did have to get our pitch very, very early, and we were there for the full day to ensure that we got the best coverage possible. Now, we have absolutely seen evidence of this, of people using deck chairs, They haven't used beach towels, though. No. Deck chairs, I have yet to see tents, although I have heard stories. I've heard of people wheeling those, like, wagons that you can pull along. You know, come on, like, 4 wheels and you drag it behind you. And it's, like, filled with all sorts of stuff, like coolers and, like, sandwiches and food and drinks and everything. And they just pile it up next to the arena and say, right, this is our camp for today. We're not moving. We're going to sit here and watch all of grade 2 for today. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that is absolutely a thing. As to how you can police that, I have no idea. I don't know if you can, because it's a public event, you know, and in a lot of cases, people have paid their money to be there, so they're quite entitled to, you know, go and grab their spot and camp out for the day. So, yes, it does make it incredibly difficult for those people who do want to circulate around arenas, you know, maybe watch 1 or 2 bands at Arena 1, walk over to Arena 3, catch a few bands over there, etc. Does make it all the more difficult, yeah. But, Weekly Droner, thank you for approaching that topic. We have been wanting to talk about that on the show for a while. We have seen a lot of evidence of this. We've seen people, as you mentioned, setting up camp with kids, dogs, aunts, uncles, mums, dads, entire family groups, just like grabbing one particular set at the arena and not moving for the entire day. That's quite common. So do I think it should be encouraged or discouraged? I don't know. That's up to the individuals. I don't know if you can really police it. I don't know if the event organizers can discourage it in any way. It just is what it is. People are there to hear the music, and if that's what they're doing to get the prime position, well, I don't know if there's much else you can do there. Yeah. Anyway, Weekly Droner, that was an interesting one. Thank you very much. If you do want to send in your own Weekly Drone, of course, you can do. Go to our website, thebigrabshow.com, and then that big red button at the top of the page that says Weekly Drone. You can send us in your stories, warts and all, and yeah, we'll bring them here to a future show. I have no doubt we'll possibly get more. We'll possibly get more Weekly Drones following those 2 news stories we mentioned at the beginning. But we do have more news and updates to get into before we get to our topic. So, at this point, I'm going to take myself a wee break, and I'll be right back with all of those news and updates. Ever wish you had a piping teacher on call 24/7? Well, now you do. Introducing the Interactive Player, a game-changing new practice tool at Dojo University. Play along with world champion pipers while the notes on your sheet music light up in time. Loop tricky phrases, slow down tough sections, zoom in to focus, and build speed automatically. It's like having a teacher right in your practice room, showing you how to master every tune at your own pace. So, sign up for a free trial today at pipersdojo.com and start learning smarter with Dojo U's Interactive Player. Yes, indeed. Time for the news and updates. Now, the story I want to lead with, well, it's not really a news story as such, but I do want to touch on it. It's something really quite cool. Now, you're bound to know, ourselves and the Rab Show team, we're about to celebrate 500 episodes of the podcast. You might have mentioned it once or twice. And we're throwing a big event at Piping Live to celebrate. Yeah, that's not the news story. Tickets still available. But yeah, the actual story I want to get into is, well, a good friend of the show, Horace Kilts. Yeah, heard about us celebrating 500 episodes and said, hey, we want to help you guys celebrate 500 episodes. How about a giveaway? I'm like, oh, yes. Now, this is quite an exciting giveaway, actually. A brand new tartan called the Belfast Tartan. Yeah, you can go along belfasttartan.com, find out all the information as to how this tartan started life. And yeah, at the moment, it's exclusive to Horace Kilts. And for our 500th episode, they're giving away a tartan scarf. Woo! Now, trust me, if you haven't seen this tartan yet, go and check it out. It is really quite cool. And I want this prize myself. I was chatting to the folks at Horace Kilts and saying, hey, is it just scarves that you're going to make out of this? And they're like, no, we make everything out of this. So it's kilts, it's trews, it's pretty much everything that you can make out of tartan, they're going to do. So, yeah, belfasttartan.com for all of your information. But if you do want to enter into our prize draw, well, head over to the Big Rab Show on Facebook. And, yeah, we're doing all the usual Facebooky stuff. So the like and the share and the tag your mates kind of thing. And then we're going to do a prize draw on the day at Piping Live, and we're going to draw our winner as to, well, who's going to grab the Belfast tartan scarf. So really quite cool. What an awesome donation from Horace Kilts. Thank you, folks. And yeah, go and check it out and be one of the first to own some actual Belfast tartan. That's quite cool. So for full details, belfasttartan.com, or you can check out Horace Kilts on their socials, or indeed, you can enter our prize draw on the Big Rab Show on Facebook. Go and check it out. Yeah. Well, there's been a couple of news stories that we've already tackled at this point, and that is the change of leadership at Uddingston, for one, but also the seeking of new leadership at Livingston Caledonia. So there's no point in me covering old ground, is there? So, yeah, go and check out those statements, again, on their social media. And as I say, Livingston Caledonia are now searching for a new lead tipper and a few drummers as well to help fill out the ranks. So if you do want to apply, well, their details, as I've mentioned earlier, are up there. You can go and contact them and be a part of the mighty Livy. There you go. So as that story develops and hopefully they'll get a new leader appointed soon, well then, yeah, we'll let you all know who exactly is going to be filling those brogues. But yeah, we wish Les the very best at Uddingston. That's exciting. And just wherever Craig Laurie is going, yeah, we're here for it. All right? Yeah, I'll say that. Craig's done fantastic work, and I'm very excited to see where he's going to end up. But for now, he hasn't said anything, so no news is good news for now. Yeah. All right, let's get away from players moving and such. I want to talk about some of the action that happened over the weekend in South Africa. Yes, the South African Pipe Band Championships took place in St. Benedict's College, and yeah, the entire competition was live streamed online, which was fantastic. Now, I took a bit of an opportunity to go and watch the live stream as Dumbarton was taking place, and you folks were all over there thumping out tunes. Oh, take a drink. As you were all there competing in Dumbarton, the live stream from the South African Pipe Band Championships was live on YouTube. Now, you can go back and have a watch at the entire thing. It is over 8.5 hours. I think it's nearly 9 hours worth of footage. But some of the performances here, come on. Right. I think the standard in South Africa has only risen since the start of the season. And this is essentially the end of the South African season. So, yeah, I was here for it. And I say this, the live stream that they presented here was another level. Now, I'm a sucker for good production. And, yeah, the South African scene absolutely knocked it out of the park. So, yeah. If you haven't checked it out yet, do make a point. Go and have a search for it on YouTube. It's been everywhere. Thanks to the Pipe Band Association of South Africa. Go and have a watch at it. And, yeah, such an amazing day. Now, I have to give a special mention, of course, to Siobhan Nodier, who kept us all across details as they were happening. And, yeah, you folks on Patreon might be treated to some little clips from Siobhan later on. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, the South African scene has wrapped up. All of those details, the results and everything from the championships themselves have all been published online. I did get criticism earlier for reading a hashtag list, so you can go and check out that hashtag list yourself. It's been published online. All of the results, go and have a watch at it. There you are. All right, let's get back to some more, changes, pipe band changes, okay? Let's talk about Johnstone. Johnstone Pipe Band put out an announcement on their socials, and we all held our breath going, oh, what's going on? Well, this was entitled Band Update. JPB Leadership Handed from Senior to Junior. Oh, now, what are we talking about here? Let's have a read at it. It says, we are happy to announce that Keith Bowes Sr. has handed over the reins of the band to Keith Bowes Jr. And then the pieces fall into place and we're like, okay, I see what's happening here. Yeah, both men have led the band at several points throughout the band's tenure. So, hi, this is just a changing of the guard, you know. So the band goes on to say they would like to thank Keith Sr. For his years of leadership dating back all the way to 1994. Cheekers, Keith, you're making me feel old, man. Yeah, he will continue to be a strength to the organization moving forward. So that suggests that he's still very much going to be a part of behind the scenes there. There you go. So the band is looking forward to competing at the Scottish Championships, and compete they did. Wow. So, yeah, a bit of a changing of the guard there. Change of leadership within Johnstone. Excellent stuff. So, again, changes of leadership and people saying, should we have like a minimum tenure? I don't know. In that case, it was a good news story, We're changing one awesome pipe major for another one. So, all right, let's move on. Well, from one good news story to a bad news story. Lower Clyde Pipes and Drums had it up on their socials this past week saying, something that we were not expecting. Yeah. The statement reads, "It is with great sadness that due to unforeseen circumstances, we have to announce that the Lower Clyde Grade 3 band will be unable to compete for the remainder of the season." Ooh, now that really kicked us in the teeth. We were not expecting that. Moving on, it says, "This has not been an easy decision, but unfortunately it is one that had to be made. We would like to extend our sincere thanks to every player, volunteer, supporter, and everyone who's been a part of the band's journey throughout the 2026 season. Your commitment, dedication, and encouragement have meant a great deal, and we're incredibly grateful for everything that you've contributed. We wish all bands the very best for the remainder of the season, and thank everyone for their understanding and commitment." Yikes. Now, so rough, especially, this was the last week of July this was posted. That is such a bitter pill to swallow, especially when we're in the run-up to the Worlds. So to everyone there at Lower Clyde, our heart goes out to you all. This is awful news. There's no better way to phrase that. And just every sympathy to everyone involved. As to what happens next at Lower Clyde Grade 3 is anyone's guess. We don't know. Will they come back fighting again for next season? We're going to have to wait and see. There's been no sort of hints or any talk about it as to what's happening there with Lower Clyde Grade 3. So we're just going to have to wait and see, folks. But for everyone involved there, apologies for this. This sucks. There's no nice way to put it. This is awful news. Lower Clyde, we really hope that you can build back and we'll see you back in that circle again. Yeah. Go on the Lower Clyde. There was another terrible announcement that we've seen from the RNZ PBA, the Royal New Zealand Pipe Band Association, from this past week, and they announced the sad passing of Bruce Moffat. Now, to a lot of folks, that would be a name that would be very familiar. Bruce's contribution to bagpiping and drumming, particularly in New Zealand, knows no bounds. He has introduced so many players to the music, pipers and drummers, and his contribution has been well reflected in the announcement that we've seen from the RNZ PBA and give across the sadness of this sad passing. So from all of us here in the Big Rab Show team, we do want to send on our condolences to all of Bruce's family, friends, and previous bandmates from over the years. It's a very sad loss for the New Zealand scene, and we just want to mark our respect at this point. It's just an absolutely tragic loss. Absolutely. So, Bruce, you will be sadly missed. So from bands breaking up to heartbreaking losses in the scene, I think the bagpiping world has took a bit of a hiding over this last while. So I'm going to try and bring you a bit more of a positive story at this point. Now, we have been following the progression of Glasgow Sky Association since they announced back in May that they've now appointed a brand new lead tipper. Yes, Daniel Lubby is, of course, the brand new lead drummer there. And, we spoke about it at the time, saying how this was exciting and that we were hopeful that the band will now be in a position to, appoint a new pipe major and hopefully hit the grass next season. Well, folks, we got an announcement this past week saying just that. The Glasgow Sky Association Pipe Band put it on their socials saying that they're delighted to announce the appointment of Stuart Scott as the new pipe major. Go on, Stuart, you legend. So Stuart has been across many Grade 1 big guns in his tenure, and this is exciting for a multitude of reasons. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to give you the full list of accolades that he has here, but I'm sure a good number of you listening probably know who Stuart is. But let's actually read the statement that Stuart gave himself. He says, I am delighted to take on the role of pipe major of the Glasgow Sky Association pipe band. This is an opportunity I'm really looking forward to. My focus remains on completing this season with Police Scotland Fife. Yeah. After which, work will begin on preparing Glasgow Sky for 2027. Oh, that's so exciting. Yeah, I would like to take a moment to thank the Sky for putting their trust in me, and I can't wait to get started. Oh, hi, but you've a wee while to wait, though. You have a few more tunes to play in there with Fife. But yeah, honestly, this is such an exciting announcement. We were absolutely gutted when Glasgow Sky put out the announcement that they'll be off the grass. It was awful news at the time. But now we're seeing these little announcements are just another step along the road, building back strong for what we hope 2020 season will be a big year for Glasgow Sky. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It seems to be the theme of today, you know, bands chopping and changing, losing leaders and gaining new ones. And in this case, Glasgow Sky have announced that they have a new leader. So with a new lead tipper, a new pipe major, what is the new Glasgow Sky going to sound like? Yeah, we have absolutely no idea, but I am here for it. So after this year's World Championships wraps up, well, that's when the folks at Glasgow Sky will head into the band hall and start getting folders of music thrown at them. You know what it's like, you know? Here's a folder, come back in 4 weeks with it learnt. Brilliant. So, yeah, good luck to everyone there at Glasgow Sky. This is a very exciting announcement. And, yeah, congratulations to Stuart. This is, as I say, this is exciting. So, Stuart and Daniel both, we will be waiting with bated breath to hear the music that you folks are bringing there at Sky. Go on, the Sky. That's exciting news there. Yeah. Okay, I have to give a little mention to a band that I was a part of years ago. Yeah, Tull & Train. Tull & Train Pipe Band are going to be celebrating 100 years in existence. Come on. So yeah, Tull & Train are seeking past members or even just friends of the bands or supporters of the band, yeah, to, well, contact them on their socials. They're going to be running a huge event on the 19th of September in the White Horse Hotel in Eglinton. And yeah, doors open at 7:30 and the entire night will be all filled with music and good times. I've been guaranteed that. So, of course, me as a former member, I've been invited, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be there. Me and a bunch of my other old drum corps mates, I'm looking forward to catching up with them, actually. That's why I love these nights sometimes. You know, you get to see guys that you haven't maybe seen in ages and years. So, yeah, shout out to Tull & Train, who are going to be celebrating 100 years in the business. It's been a while since we've seen them in the competition circle, but that's not to say that they're not still functioning, because they absolutely are. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this event. You know, 19th of September, 100 years in the business. That's crazy. And their pipe major doesn't look anywhere over 40. Anyway, say nothing. But, yeah, congratulations, Tull & Train, 100 years. And, 19th of September, White Horse Hotel in Eglinton. And if you do want to help support the band or even attend, well, yeah, go and check them out on their socials. Tull & Train Pipe Band, you can find them and get all that detail for that event that's coming up. Excellent. All right, we need to talk about this weekend, of course, Maxville. Yeah. The Glengarry Highland Games are this weekend in Ontario and Maxville. And Maxville and Ontario, I got it the wrong way around. I'm kind of stupidly excited for this, for a good reason. Have you seen how many bands are entered for this? 53. 53 bands for Maxville. Now, that's insanely good. All right. Now, this event pulls in the cream of the crop, obviously, and is one of the biggest ones there, arguably, in the Ontario scene. And, we're certainly going to be following this with interest. So it starts on Friday, 31st, and rolls through the weekend. Man, I'm not going to sit here and read a hashtag list. There is a full hashtag list of all the soloists, the bands, who's entered, all that stuff. You can go along to pipesdrums.com. They have quite a detailed article on the contest itself. I think for myself personally, one of the highlights would be drum major Emma Barr is actually going to make an appearance. She'll be there competing, but I think she'll be also doing like workshop kind of things as well. doing a bit of tuition and stuff like that as well, which is over there. Obviously, drum majoring, you're now becoming more and more of a thing. Competitions in Ontario. It's been really interesting to watch the drum majoring scene there in Canada and how it's coming on. It's, fascinating. And, to see Emma heading across and taking these classes and then competing and all of that, fantastic. Yeah. So I cannot wait for this weekend in Maxville. I'm not sure if we have cameras there. I'm going to have to put the feelers out and check in with the Rab Show team or international guys to see, will we have cameras at Maxville? I'm hopeful that we will. And hey, if we do manage to, we will be bringing you a lot of that footage and all the coverage of all of that goodness from Maxville. Yeah, so good luck to everyone competing there. I know I haven't read your band, your name, all of that. All of it's been published. There's just too many of you to mention. But yeah, it's going to be a real great weekend's competition on Ontario. Looking forward to that. Bringing it close to home, of course, this weekend in Ward Park in Bangor, we are heading for the Ulster Championships. And the draw for which has been published. I'm not going to read the lists because of what our droner said. #list. The draw is all published. All of the information in relation to that competition is on the website. All the things to do with parking, which is quite complex. And yes, we've seen details of a shuttle bus. Yeah, the shuttle bus. So they're putting on a free shuttle bus service, which will run from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. Good luck, everybody. Car parking and all of that. But Ward Park itself is a huge venue. We all are quite familiar with Ward Park, actually. So, looking forward to the Ulsters. It's going to be a real blistering competition, actually. A lot of bands are very keen to lift that Ulster title. It is important to a lot of musicians here in Northern Ireland. And, to walk home with a trophy or perhaps a shiny little medal, that's what it's all about. So, looking forward to that. Of course, ourselves and the Rab Show team, we will be there. I'll be competing myself, of course, hopefully, in the circle. We will be running around with cameras, filming performances for our YouTube channel, and, of course, live later in the day with the all-important results. As for other competitions that are taking place, we have a good number of them coming up, actually. We have a good number of minor competitions, like Bridge of Allen, Perth. There's a bunch of others. We have a full list of competitions coming up in the next few weeks, so we'll be bringing all of that coverage to you. So the best place to be is on our YouTube channel. If you aren't subscribed to the Big Rab Show on YouTube, what are you doing? That's where all that action is. All right. So I know I'm glossing over a lot there, but we need to, because our weekly droner did not want me to read lists. I'm joking at this point. I didn't take it that thick. Come on. All right, let's move on. All right, I wanted to briefly mention Piping Live. Now, it's been nigh on impossible keeping up with the sheer volume of announcements that have been dropping from Piping Live. It's pretty much every day now. There's at least 2 or 3 different things announced from Piping Live. It's been really quite dizzying trying to keep up with it all. So I think on next week's pod, we're going to be delving into Piping Live. You know, we do it every year. We do our Piping Live preview podcast. And we go into it day by day, hour by hour almost. And we give you our own particular picks of one of the biggest piping festivals of the year. And so that's my advice. Go along to pipinglive.co.uk. There's way too much now for me to mention at this point. We need to dedicate a full pod to it, to be honest. So if there's any particular events that you're particularly excited about for Piping Live, then do let us know. Our email address, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and we will do our best to include it in our Piping Live preview, which will be next week. There you go. But if you do want information on ticketing, live stream information, who's playing what, where, and when, well, pipinglive.co.uk, that's where all that information is. All right. Folks, I'm going to draw a line under it at this point because, we could be standing here all day reading news stories. But I think for now, you've waited this long. I think it's time for me to go and get a big cup of tea. It's time for the topic of the week.
Kingdom Thistle Pipe Band supplies for all your pipe band and marching band needs. Supplying everything from uniforms and instruments to custom designed bass drum heads. They offer it all. Not forgetting their exclusive Kingdom Gilly Brogues and George Boots, crafted by bands for bands. Kingdom Thistle provides expert product advice and an industry-leading drum refurbishment service to keep your equipment in top-class condition. Also, shipping worldwide. So, stop by their store in Fife or visit them online at kingdomthistle.com for all your pipe band and marching needs.
Marchify, the brand new home of Flam 5 drumming. Check out their brand new Strike bagpipe case, inspired by their colourful, popular and reliable Flam 5 drum cases. The Strike bagpipe case combines durability, style and practicality, protecting every movement. Shop now at marchify.co.uk with worldwide shipping available. Marchify, every movement protected.
Hello, this is Kerr McQuillan, and you're listening to The Big Rab Show.
So yes, time for topic of the week, and we're about to get into everything Scottish Championships. Now, at this point, we've received enough listener feedback to tell us that me sitting and listening or reading through a list of results and giving you my analysis is okay, but it's not great. So how can we revamp things a little bit? Well, I invited the Big Rab Show team to go through everything. So welcome along, Ewan, Stuart and Adrian. How are you folks?
Well.
Good,
Evening.
good. Yeah. So you guys were all incredibly busy at the Scottish Championships. Ewan, first of all, tell us about yourself. When did you arrive in the park in the morning?
I think this is about 7:30.
Oh, that's early enough, yeah.
Yeah, because I left here at about 5:10. Yeah, in the morning. So yeah, because it's fully 2.5 hour drive. But yeah, I was just panicking because of in case there was roadworks or anything like that. So, but then again, I like to get there early, so I get to set up at the park and where I'm going to be and things. So yeah.
And standing arguing with the fellas with yellow coats on? Right? No.
Actually, they were actually all right this year.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
There you go. I love to hear that. That's good. So, Stuart, what about yourself, man? You didn't early start yourself too?
No, we were the opposite end. We were last band on.
Yeah. It's a long day. Yeah.
Yeah. The grade fours were actually the first band on at 10 o'clock, and grade 3 was last band on.
So talk about a lot of sitting around. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were asked to be in the park for roughly about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it felt like you were kind of on the back shift.
Definitely.
There you go. So you got to lay in that morning then, essentially?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Chloe enjoyed it. She enjoyed her lie-in.
Good stuff. Now, Adrian, you were actually over the night before, not right? You sailed over on Friday?
We went over Friday morning and stayed in Balloch then and travelled over to the venue on Saturday morning.
There you go. Now, that is an actual place. So it is a family show. We haven't just swore or anything.
Yeah.
So it's a real place. So, yeah, I think we all had different experiences, but the event itself, we've got a lot of feedback from the Scottish Championships. Well, from every major this season so far. And one of the biggest topics of discussion has been car parking. You know, some majors have got it right, some have got it dreadfully wrong. Can I ask what your opinion is of the Scottish Championships? Ewan, I'll throw it to yourself, seeing how you were there so early, mate. What was things?
I did panic the night before when I seen that they said there was no public parking at all. And I'm thinking, what are we going to do? Because obviously I've got gear with me. And it was, strangely enough, the parking was no different from any other year. And I think, as speaking to some of the HQ people were saying that, you know, that was a thing that West Dumbartonshire had put out, but they did rectify it, but they rectified it a little bit too late. So I was a little bit slightly relieved because I was thinking about Stuart. You know, Stuart was coming later on that day, and I thought, what did I do? Can I get somebody to put a cone out? This is for Stuart. You know,
same on the spot. Yeah.
But yeah, it was the same as last year. So yeah, down by the waterfront. So
there you go.
Yeah,
handy
it's okay.
enough. Yeah. So Stuart, with you arriving in later, then were the car parks rammed at that stage, or did you get in okay?
we got in just at the right point because it was really filling up. We got a parking spot, but it was probably the last couple of parking spots that we got.
Right.
So, like I say, I was there for about just after 1 o'clock, 1:30 or something. So that was the last couple of spots just filling up then.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So, Adrian, you didn't have to mess about with shuttle buses and none of that nonsense yourself?
No, just a taxi from the apartment in, so they got us straight up more or less to the entrance outlet.
And chucked you out and said, see you later. Cheerio.
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent. So let's talk about security then. This has been a topic for every wrap-up that we do. You said you had a great experience with the folks in High Vis.
To be honest, I didn't really see any of them like we've experienced at any of the contests, not in the high visit. It just seemed to be fine. I mean, people in the car park were just great. Right, you go in there, you pay your $5, you get your window sticker up to the park, and yeah.
No hassle.
No hassle.
Excellent.
No hassle. No.
Yeah.
Lots of little men, the event organisers going about in little golf buggy things. I thought, now there's a handy thing to have. But but not. I never came across anything untoward at all. It's all straightforward.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you know, that's one of the bit of feedback that we've got about Dumbarton and this competition in general is that it was ran for free. If you wanted to turn up, you didn't have to get tickets in advance and all of this kind of stuff. So it's kind of shown that it's possible. Yeah. But what are your thoughts on that, Adrian?
Well, I think because it was an open park, there wouldn't have been as much security about as some of the closed contests that they have.
Yeah, true. Yeah, harder to police. Yeah.
Yeah, like as I say, just with it being open, anybody could walk in or out whenever they wanted then, so
that's it.
Maybe they didn't need the same security.
Yeah. I did hear a few stories of dog walkers who just stumbled upon the competition and ended up staying for the day. You're like, oh my word, this is brilliant, this. There you go. So, I don't know. Stuart, I'm going to leave the final thing on tickets with you, mate. Do you think that perhaps we could run future majors without ticketing, but now that we know that it's possible? Or do you think ticketing's more of the way to go? What's your thoughts?
I think it depends on the venue. The likes of that Dumbarton Council, they run it for free. It's a free entry, but the likes of the Worlds, they've got to pull the money in, unfortunately. But it does prove that it can be done.
There you go. Yeah. Or could you just imagine if the Worlds was free and the gates were open? Flip me, we'd be standing on top of each other.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy. So I guess from that point of view, controlling the numbers might not be a bad thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you go. So, well, we have to talk about, the food. First of all, the Portaloos, all the other essential stuff. Has anybody got anything to say about Portaloos or food?
I never used a Portaloo or had anything to eat all day.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So I'm guessing Portaloo review is that there was plenty and there were grand. Yeah.
There was plenty, unfortunately, and there was a row just a couple of feet away from the trigger line on our arena.
Oh,
and
no, really?
Because we were that late on in the day, as you marched past it,
no.
I'm sorry to say there was a bit of a...
They were a bit
Were
leaping.
you Arena 3, Stuart, were you?
Yeah, down at the bottom end of the bus park. So there was a
toilets
road.
didn't take long till they started to smell a wee bit.
Nice.
Yeah, but they weren't far from the trigger line, and you actually marched past them to get to the trigger line.
Nice. Quality right there.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, hey, it's all part of it, you know. So I want to talk about food options. I was told that the food options at Dumbarton this year were really quite good. Actually, did any of you sample any of the local fare? Adrian, yourself, do you visit any vans or anything?
Yeah, Hugh, he run about 2 or 3 times up to the vans. He got himself a jumbo hot dog and I think it was a cheesy chip and stuff, so he kept himself well filled. Victoria and myself got a chance to go after the Drum Majors were finished, so I got a jumbo hot dog and Victoria got a steak baguette thing, so there seemed to be a good selection of stuff.
So it wasn't just your standard burgers and chips all day.
No.
It had a bit of variety there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything unusual that drew your eye? Anything weird being cooked?
Not that I had noticed now.
There you go. But just standard fare, I guess, for an event.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we get uniquely at the World Championships. You know, walking through that trader village sometimes, and I think, was it last year they sold gyoza or gyoza? I don't know how to pronounce it. It was like a Greek thing. I have no idea what it was. It looked nice. Right. It was like loads of meat and sauce all over the place, and it just looked really tasty. But I think that's something that's unique to the Worlds. Yeah, so that'll be a part of our food review for the Worlds. Yeah. Right. Away from Portaloo's food and all the other stuff, let's get into the actual action itself then, shall we? We're going to kick things off, first of all, with our drum majors, of which I know very little about. But what I do know is that I can see that the competition in here in our drum majors in Dumbarton was quite intense. Now, I'm going to talk about the juniors, and then I'm going to have Adrian walk us through the remainder. So, starting with our junior, Scottish champion for 2026, Molly Bell. Go on, Molly! Yoo-hoo! Now, Molly placed in first place in M&D preference. Now, that's something that you might hear us say a few times today. We have Harry Couples in second from Stirling District. Well done, Harry. In third place, Charlotte Adamson from the Major Sinclair. Well done. In fourth place, we had Hannah Campbell. And in fifth, we had Molly McMahon. And in sixth place, we had Willow Rose Elliott. There you are. So that M&D preference came to play here. Now, the decider between first and second, like, it shows you how slim the margins are here. Yeah. So, but this is not unique to the junior grade. We'll see this throughout all the others. But well done, Molly. Yeah. Scottish champion. All right, Adrian, take it away with our juveniles. How did it work out, mate?
Well, again, juveniles worked out the same. It was Ciaras Graham had took first place on M&D preference.
Give you a yay there. Excellent. Yeah.
You know, again, that was M&D preference. So M&D's making a difference. Dress faults is making a difference there too.
Yeah.
That's coming into play.
I've noticed that. Look at the dress fault thing. Like, even looking at our junior final there was quite a number with dress faults, but they still managed to place in the top four, you know?
Yeah.
So the M&D seems to be king of all of this. It's kind of like our pipe band ensemble preference. Am I right in saying that? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. M&D is what you really want to be getting. That's what they're watching for. You could have the best flourishes out there, but if your M&D isn't up to scratch, it could just bring you way down altogether.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. So Carrie's finished in first place in M&D preference, but who else did you draw with points-wise? Who came second?
It was Lydia Todd from McNeilstown.
Go on, Lydia. Woohoo! We'll give you a cheer. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then you had Catherine Spears in third.
Go on, Catherine.
Georgia Tarkington in fourth.
Yes, well done, Georgia.
Grace Surplus in fifth. And then Logan Clark?
Yeah, from Burn
was
Island
in
District.
Place. Yeah.
Yes, there you go. So that was our juvenile final there. And I don't know. Our top two finishers didn't have any dress faults at all.
No.
And the only way to split them was M&D. So that tells a story there, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It's such a tight grade. Anyway, well, let's get on to our adult grade, of which there was loads. All right?
Yeah.
So many. Now, you were standing filming all of this, Adrian, on the day.
Yeah.
How long did the adult grade take?
I think it was around 11 o'clock, something like that. And I think it was maybe after 12 or whatever. I didn't really notice the time. It just kept recording.
Just grit
yeah,
teeth, we'll get there.
20,
yeah.
I think there's 20 drum majors out on Saturday there. So
yeah. There's 20 listed here in the heats, which is insane.
I think there's a few withdrawals, but other than that, now there's still 20 out. So that the world's going to be bigger. I think there's is it 36 adults?
I think it's twice that. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah. So if you thought Dumbarton was a long stand filming all day, the world's is going to be a nightmare. I don't know how we're going to cover that. But
and we're playing in the middle of that as well.
Exactly, yeah. We're competing during that. So it's going to be an absolute nightmare trying to coordinate things. But we had heats of drum majors, and this is what it's kind of confusing whenever you look at the results here. You get one table that has all 20 drum majors listed, and then it goes through to your drum major final. So Yeah. The first table that we have here, that's the result from your heats. Isn't that right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so the second one that we have then is our final. So looking at the heats results, first of all, we had Emma Barr from Field Marshal, who lifted it on M&D. She drew on points then with Catherine McKeown for Battle Hill. Well done, Catherine. In the third place in M&D in the heats was Jamie Lee Wilson from Brady Ulster Scots, of course. Well done, Jamie Lee. In fourth was Kathy Hunter from the Manor. Go on, Kathy. Fifth place was Louise. Go on, Louise. Louise Smighton from Closkel. And in sixth place with Cara Gilmer from the Queen Elizabeth. There you go. So that was your top six, and that was your adult final. Yeah. Adrian, walk us through the results then of our adults then. Who lifted what, mate?
Yep, well, our adult champion was Emma Barr for Field Marshal.
Yeah, Scottish champion. Go on, Emma.
And second place then was Kathy from Manor.
Yes, well done, Kathy.
Third place in M&D preference was Jamie Lee Wilson with Brady Ulster Scots.
Well done, Jamie Lee. Yeah, excellent.
Then in fourth, you had Catherine McKeown.
Go on,
Battle
Catherine.
Hill.
Yes, excellent stuff.
Then Cara Gilmer in fifth from Queen Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
And Louise then from Closkel in sixth.
There you go. You might know Louise, Adrian. I think you might be familiar with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
But conditions on the day now were mixed. A lot of the time there was a lot of wind, and it was sort of up and down. It wasn't inconsistent. Like
Right.
all the drum majors all performed powerful well for the way the weather was.
See, I was going to ask about that. That's an interesting dynamic there from Dumbarton, because it's right on the water, and you get that wind whipping across, and that can really affect a drum major's run, couldn't it?
It does, yeah. And they have to think then about what flourish they're doing, whether it's going to be a throw or body work, depending on how strong the gust's going to be.
Yeah. And whenever you hoof it up there, you're just hoping it's going to come down where you expect it to.
Yeah, well, I think majority of the time you just got it out of your hand, that's whenever the gusts come.
Sod's law, isn't it? Yeah.
So it's too late then.
So you're saying, in a way, then, drum majoring in its entirety is a sense of gambling. Like, you're nearly gambling. I'm going to throw this thing, and I'm betting on the odds that it's going to come down where I want it.
Yeah, it's risk or reward.
Yeah. So I'm guessing with throws and stuff like that, obviously the higher and the more risky and all of that sort of stuff, does that come into the marketing of it as well?
It does. They have. You'd see comments about degree of difficulty and things like that on the sheets as well for the drum majors.
Yes. So that is a factor then. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
There you go. Interesting. So I am always learning stuff about drum major, and thanks, Adrian, for cluing us in on that, man. But I think the overall feeling that we're getting here, the story of the season has been M&D preference has been the only way to split these folks.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of competitions this year, it's been that tight that it is coming down to M&D preference.
Yeah. I don't know. It shows you that standards have risen here in drum majoring. You know, we have seen M&D preferences before, but just not as common. But now it seems to be every contest. You know, crazy. But there you go. Well done to all of our drum majors, all our Scottish champions. It's given us a lot of food for thought whenever it comes to our prediction pod. I don't know where we're going to start with that one. Nightmare.
It was fun.
I have no idea even where to begin with this. But I'm going to sit with it for a while. You know, we have the Ulsters and that to get through. So, right, let's move on. Let's get into our actual bands then. Starting with Novice B. The results on the day, and Scottish champions for 2026, Stirling and District Schools Junior. Yes. First, an ensemble preference. You might hear me say an ensemble preference quite a bit here too today. All right. Second place was Dollar Academy. Quite a convincing win by Dollar, actually. 2 firsts in piping as well. Well done, Dollar. In third place was the Isle of Arran Music School. Now, the Isle of Arran Music School, I'm not sure if they heard their third place being read out, because they were still cheering after lifting the drumming. Did you see that on the live stream? They went absolutely nuts, and they just kept cheering for the duration. That was brilliant to see. Well done. In fourth place was Kintyre Schools. Fifth place was Burnt Island and District, ensemble preference. And in sixth place, North Lanarkshire Schools. Yes. So, folks, did any of you get a chance to see any of Novice B on the day? No, everyone's shaking their heads. No.
Unfortunately not.
No, Novice B, again, 15 bands in the grade, quite huge, you know. So for anyone to come out on that top 6 spot, well done. But again, looking at the overall summary sheets here, we're seeing quite a mixed bag. Like, our 2 bands, well, Dollar Academy, who lifted the piping, they had a first in piping, finished second. Another band, Kintyre Schools, they had 2 seconds in piping, finished 4th. So, yeah, there's some big differences here in the numbers. Now, we've went through the numbers before in previous pods and drew criticism for it, so you can draw your own conclusions for Novice B. They did not make it easy for the judges. But, yeah, well done to Stirling and District Schools. Moving on to Novice A then. Stuart, do you want to read us the results then for Novice A, mate? You can give me a bit of a break.
In first place, George Watson's College, 369.
Woohoo! Go on, George Watson's.
Second place was High School of Dundee.
Yes, well done.
Third place, North Lanarkshire Schools.
Go on, North Lanarkshire.
Fourth place, Renfrewshire Schools, 1225.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth place, Dollar Academy, 990.
Yeah.
And in sixth place, in ensemble preference, George Heriot's School.
There you go. Yeah. So shout out to George Watson's, actually, who split the piping with the High School of Dundee. Now, I haven't heard either run. I haven't heard anything really much from Novice A. I've heard a few clips and stuff outside the circle, but I'm very keen to hear what the action is in there. Yeah. Any of you folks, again, did you hear any Novice A?
Unfortunately,
No.
no.
Down with the drum majors most of the day.
Ah, I see. Okay. Well, I don't know. Looking at this, it seems to be incredibly interesting because I say that split piping result between Watson's and Dundee, that shows that it's quite an even fight there between the pipe corps at this contest. The drumming results, yeah, but George Watson's lifting it overall. But our second place finisher in drumming actually finished in 6th spot on ensemble preference. So that's an interesting one. So again, you can read through these summary sheets and you can scratch your head and think, well, how am I going to predict the worlds after this? Nightmare. But there you go. Well done, George Watson's College, Scottish champions. All right. Now, on to Grade 4B, or as we've been calling it, the Wild West. Yes, go on, the Wild West. Now, we're not going to get into the heats here because Grade 4B, I think there was 2 heats on the day. Yeah, there was. Just looking at my list here. So, right, let's get into the final. I'm scrolling through the results here. Ewan, I'm going to leave this one for you, mate. You can read the results for Grade 4B in the Wild West.
Okay, so first place was the Royal Air Force of Oman.
There you go.
Yeah. Second place was the City of Brechin.
Ah, there you go. Well done. Yep.
Third place was a Addington Strathclyde.
Yes, well done, the Audi. Yeah.
And then fourth place was Arbroath.
Yes, well done, Arbroath.
And fifth place was the First Troon Boys Brigade.
Go on, First Troon. Yeah.
And in sixth place, East Kilbride.
Excellent stuff. Now, I know pretty much the talk since this event happened and our Scottish champions were crowned, the Royal Air Force of Oman really seemed to draw a huge audience on the day because of their sound. I've been told by many people about their sound and that it was something special. Now, I have yet to hear any recordings of them. Has anybody seen anything from them?
No, but I did hear them tuning up.
Right, and what was your impression, Ewan?
I didn't think they were Grade 4B band.
That's what I've been hearing. That they were just so good, undeniable.
They were very,
I heard them on their qualifying run.
Right, and what do you think?
The arena was just below us, and I had to actually turn around to make sure that it was 4B. The sound and everything coming from them was unbelievable.
Yeah, there you go. Just another level. Yeah.
Yeah.
See.
Sorry, I was just going to say there. I mean, they won the drumming also. That's not a surprise. Obviously, the drumming it was so good. It was clean. It was really, really clean. So yeah, so well done to them. Yeah.
Excellent. But then, if you look at their placings in the qualifier,
see, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, whenever you looked at the qualifying groups, they didn't dominate their group. You know, Dumfries actually lifted the top spot in that second qualifier there. Yeah. But yeah, fair play to them. You know, the Royal Air Force of Oman actually won the drumming in the qualifying group too. So their drum corps are absolutely cooking. But clearly, you know, stepping into that final, they seem to find fifth gear and just absolutely cooked. So, yeah, you know, bands that I was sort of, you know, mentioning in the preview podcast, like First Tune and all of that, and I was bigging them up, and I think it seems to be the Kiss of Death. So it makes it so much more difficult for bands when I'm shouting you out. So apologies, I didn't mean to do that. But hey, you won your qualifier, First Tune, you know, I'll say that. But Stuart, I have to ask then about Uddy finishing third, mate. Great result.
Yeah, they're doing really well this season. Picked up a second place in drumming as well. So they're really looking forward to the Worlds now.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, there might be a couple of boys in there competing in that grade as well. Might there, Adrian?
Yeah.
Yes, you just don't know. I don't know. Grade 4B at the World Championships, you may as well put money on a roulette wheel as to who is going to, number one, get in the final and who's going to win. Because you just don't know. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, I know we've been joking and calling it the Wild West, but it is absolutely the case that anyone can mosey into town and just, like, clean up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, clearly there will be bands that we're keeping a keen eye on. Uddy being one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also the Royal Air Force of Oman. I am going to make a point now to try and have a good listen to these folks. Yeah. And also the city of Brecon as well. Now, I got a voice note, or a video actually, from Scott Cunningham, the Oracle. The bass drummer from Tullylagan sent me a video message with the bass drummer from the city of Brecon telling me the correct pronunciation of the city of Brecon. So I think I was calling it, is it Brecon or something, which is completely wrong. So thank you for sending me that video clip. Made me laugh out loud on the Saturday. That was very funny. So there you go. But yeah, grade 4B, such a competitive grade. And Adrian, I don't know about you, man, but it's actually fun to compete in that.
Yeah.
Isn't it though?
That'll be interesting, so it will.
Well, surely, yeah, because you just don't know what way the chips are going to fall. So,
yeah.
Hey, I don't know. We were at practice last night and the sweat was pouring off us. So, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Anyway, let's move on. Grade 4A then, and I'll get the results for this one. Yeah. In first place and Scottish champions for 2026 from Grade 4A, City of St Andrews. Go on, City of St Andrews. And I think the celebrations are still going right now. I seen some of there was little video clips shared online of piping on the bus on the way home. Now, I think there should be more of that in the piping world. Piping on the bus. I'm sure you guys have memories of piping on the bus, do you?
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of a tradition, isn't it?
Got to be done.
It has to be. Yeah. I don't know. I think it had been phased out for a while. A lot of bands weren't doing it. They didn't seem to celebrate together like that. But hey, shout out to City of St Andrews, who just absolutely partied all the way home. Brilliant. There you go. So they actually split the piping, however, with our second place finisher with the Rat Eye pipe band. Yes. Now, the City of St Andrews actually finished in first ensemble preference. I should have mentioned that. But yeah, split the piping with the Rat Eye pipe band. Now, we've been shouting them out quite a number of times this season. They've been in the prize list consistently here. So, I don't know. A couple of bands there nipping at each other's heels. Is going to be a lot of fun. All right. In third place was Altnavay Memorial. Well done, Altnavay. In fourth place was Moneygore. And Moneygore actually lifted the drumming as well. Scottish champions. Woohoo! Go on, Moneygore. In fifth place, we had the City of Discovery. Yes. And in sixth place, we had Kirkcaldy and District. Yeah. And that was your grade 4A. Now, one band in particular that I shouted out on last week's pod, and I was really excited to see, was the Chicago Stockyard Kilty Band from the US. Yeah. Now, granted, they finished at bottom of the pile here. They finished in 13th overall. But this is them getting settled, in my opinion. You know, they're kind of getting the grass under their brogues. Just arrived in Scotland. Big trip from Chicago. So, yeah, possibly cooking for bigger and better things. Yeah. So I'm going to throw the doors open. Did anybody have a listen to any 4A bands on the day?
I did hear Rat Eye. I heard them actually in the final there. It seemed to be fine. It was all right. Spoke to the guys when they came off. One or two of them seemed to be just a bit, and I said, we're always overcritical of our own playing, and as I said, to me, it was fine. I didn't hear anything that was, that I would have said, didn't deserve at least the top 4 placings. So I'm quite pleased with them. Yeah, they did well. They did well.
Yeah, an excellent result. Do you know a run that I'm curious on? I would love to hear. It was Altnavay Memorial. I would love to hear how Altnavay played because they finished in 3rd overall. However, when you look at the summary of where the judges had them, I think there was only one judge that placed them in that 3rd spot, and that was one of the piping judges. Their ensemble judge had them 6th. Drummond had them 2nd. One of the piping judges had them 5th. So it was a real mixed bag for Altnavay. I would love to have a listen to see what happened or what was going on there. And that was kind of the story for Grade 4A, similar to 4B. You just don't know what the judges are hearing, what they're listening for, So I don't know. Stuart, did you manage to hear any 4A bands on the day?
Not on the day, but I heard the Chicago Stockyard at Renfrew.
Oh, yeah. What do you think?
So, yeah, I was pretty impressed with them. Hats off to them for coming over.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I was pretty impressed with them.
But again, they're building here, you know? That's where we are with the Stockyard. So, yeah, good luck to them. Adrian, did you hear any? Again, you're probably over at the Drum Majors, mate. Yeah.
Drum Majors, I think we're on around the same time. I'd heard just a couple of bands before going into final tune and all now, but on that, I say Drum Majors was just at the same time.
There you go. Yeah, so that restricted you somewhat. Yeah. But, hey, well done to our Scottish champions, City of St Andrews, who I reckon are still partying right now. So you're going to have to calm down with the World Championships to get till, and also congrats to Money Gore as well and the drum corps. Fantastic result for Roy there and everyone at the team. Brilliant result. There you go. Yeah. All right, moving on to our juvenile grade then. Ewan, I'll let you do the results for this one, mate. Go ahead.
Yeah. In first place, Dollar Academy.
There you go. Well done, Dollar.
Second place was George Watson's College Juvenile.
Well done, George Watson's.
Third place was Preston Lodge High School 969.
Go on, the PL.
Loch Gerry High School were in 4th place.
There you go.
George Heriot School took 5th place. And West Lothian Schools in 6th place.
There you are. And that was your juvenile grade. Now, I think, is this stuff that Rab got wrong? Is this the first one that Dollar's lifted this season? That could be.
I think it is, yeah. I think it is.
I think it is. I think so far this season's been dominated by George Watson's. Yeah. So, the reason I'm mentioning it at all is because the cheer that went up from Dollar.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, that was proper Glengarry's in the air kind of thing. They were so stoked. But they lifted it so convincingly. 2 firsts in piping, lifted the drumming. However, 2nd in ensemble, but that was enough to pull them through that top spot there. Yeah. Now, that's not to say that George Watson's were not just absolutely level pegging with them, because I have heard the run from George Watson's. They've been such an impressive band this year. Stuart, you've heard them a number of times now this year so far. What did you think of George Watson's so far?
Yeah, as your words are, they're cooking. They're on fire. And they do that. For these young kids to put out performances like this, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's nearly scary good, though.
It is very scary.
Very
scary.
I don't know. Ewan, what are your thoughts on the juvenile grade, man?
Very much the same. When you actually, you're there and you're hearing them, you're just thinking, oh my Lord. As Stuart says, these are youngsters, and you're thinking, how can I not play like that at that age? Absolutely fantastic. Really good. I tell you what, I wouldn't, to be a judge in that one, the door was open.
Good luck to the judges there, for sure.
Well done to the guys,
So, Adrian, I have a very distinct memory of this season. Being at the UK Championships, Tullylagan had our gazebo right next to the kids at George Watson's. And we were getting our pipes out of the cases and whatever and getting ready. And these kids were playing tunes, hornpipes, jigs and reels. And we're getting ready to play a 2/4 march, for goodness sake. Wow.
That's ridiculous how good they are, so it is.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, well, this is what I'm going to say. My biggest problem with it, right? I do have a problem with these juvenile kids, is that they make it look easy. Stop it. 'Cause it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. But you just like from straight, your pipes work straight away. No early chanter. No, brilliant. Hey, I don't know. Brilliant. Well done.
That's what we've been saying for years here too, is that we're lost for something like that in the schools.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a big conversation here for piping in Northern Ireland specifically.
Yeah.
With it being in the curriculum in Scottish schools, it's definitely a leg up, I think, whenever it comes to competition. So I think this will be an area that we'll have to investigate a bit further. Talking about piping in schools, and that's a future topic of the week right there, Adrian. You're going to go down a rabbit hole, mate. Anyway, Adrian, seeing how I'm chatting to yourself, let's get into grade 3B then. So go on ahead, give us the results then.
Well, first place was William Wood.
Go on, William Wood.
Second place was Govan.
Yes, well done, Govan. Lifted the drumming too, actually, as well. Yeah.
Third, Troon Caledonia Pipe Band.
Go on, Troon. Yes.
And fourth place, you had the Royal Army of Oman.
There you go. Now, that was the Army, not the Air Force.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Fifth place was East Ayrshire Caledonia.
There you go. Yeah.
And in sixth place was Wallastone and District.
Go on, Wallastone. Yeah. So that was your top six in 3B. Yeah. Now, again, William Wood. I haven't heard much from William Wood this season. But, hey, here they are. Wow. Now, they lifted that top spot convincingly. 2 firsts in piping, first in ensemble, runner-up in drumming behind Govan. Yeah. But talk about a mixed bag of a grade, man. Like, I think this was one of the biggest grades for judges to have arguments in. One of the bands that really sticks out to me was Wallastone. Finished in 6th place. They had a 10th in drumming and 3rd in ensemble. Now, that's a big gap. So, I don't know. It comes into question, what are our ensemble judges listening to? What's our drumming judge? Right. We've been down that road many times before. But, this grade, so many good bands in here. But I feel we're about to get into possibly my favourite grade this season, and grade 3A. But 3B is not to be outdone either. Some real stiff competition in here. But yeah, well done, William Wood. Cracking stuff. Stuart, did you manage to get a listen to the grade at all yourself in 3B?
I heard some of them tuning up, yeah.
Right.
Pretty impressive. Again, you see, it's one of these grades. It's I like Govan. I like their setup, and they won the drumming, so I've got a wee soft spot for Govan.
Go on, the Govan. Yeah. Ewan, what about yourself? I think at this point, it was a grade 1 was gearing up to start around this time.
Yes.
3B. Yeah. So you mightn't have heard anything.
Yeah. Which luckily I nearly missed, because I had it in my head that grade 1 started at 3 o'clock. If I just didn't happen to look at the phone, no, it's 1:30. So I got back about 10 minutes to spare. So I was like, oh yeah.
So if anyone's seen a blur, that was you in running the grade 1 arena.
Shocking. Yeah, my own fault. Yeah, my own fault.
But well done to William Wood and to Govan as well, lifting the silverware in 3B. That sets you up well, folks, for the big game. Best of luck. Best of luck. All right, moving on to grade 3A. Now, there might have been somebody in the circle here. So, Stuart, I'll let you do the results here, buddy. How did things fare out in grade 3A?
In first place were Burnt Island and District.
Go on, the Burnt Island.
They also lifted the drumming, so well done.
Well done, yeah.
Second place, Livingston Caledonia Pipe Band.
Go on, the Livy, yeah.
In third place, City of London.
Yes.
In fourth place, Major Sinclair Memorial.
Go on, the Sinclair.
In fifth place, Macanta, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And in sixth place, the City of Stirling Pipe Band.
There you go. That was your top 6. Now, Stuart, I'm kind of picking on you here, but you were in the circle that day in 3A. How did Uddingston go? How was your run?
We had a solid run. Just unfortunately, our season's not been quite where we've normally been. But yeah, it was a solid run. The guys were happy when we come off. it's just not our season this year,
That's
unfortunately.
bands. But
Yeah,
do you know, I'm going to say this, you're probably a solid run in against a collection of 13 other solid runs.
That's the problem.
That's
yeah,
the problem with 3A.
Everybody's just as good as the next band on. So
yeah, there you go. But I know this season so far has been the story of Burnt Island and District. They have been absolutely dominant in that grade. Hard to touch. Yeah. Has anybody heard Burnt Island this season? Adrian, have you managed to see them yet in person?
I haven't got hearing them this year so far now. So.
Me either. Yeah. I think at the UK's, I think we were playing around a similar time when they were preparing something. We didn't get a chance. Ewan, did you manage to check them out?
No, I didn't at all. But the only experience I had of the Grade 3 bands this year is actually Macanta. I heard them at Corby.
Oh, yes, of course they were at Corby,
Yeah, they were down at Corby, and I was like, oh my word, okay. So, and I thought to myself, they'll be,
in the conversation,
far
you
away.
think?
Yeah, they'll be in the mix there somewhere, yeah.
Excellent. Do you know a band that I shouted out on last week's pod, and I did get some question marks asking, oh, Rob, why are you giving them a shout? City of London had an excellent run. So it's, with first and third and piping, third and drumming, they're, again, in that conversation. And I'm thinking here, grade 3A, I think this is possibly the most exciting grade this year. Between it and the ridiculous grade, But the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of the music that's being played in here in 3A has been really progressive, I think. Major Sinclair Memorial's medley selection, for one, comes to mind. I have never heard a grade 3A band walk into the circle with one opening role until this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Stuart, what are your thoughts music-wise? You guys are even pushing envelopes yourselves there in Uddy.
Yeah, we thought we'll try and push the boundaries a wee bit. It doesn't say you can't do it, so why not? So
exactly,
we thought we'd give it a go. Some of the tunes that we're playing, and it's I like the medley. The medley's quite good. So
I love your opening tune. What is the opener that you guys play? I'm putting you under pressure now.
It's called Unite the Clans.
Ooh. So if you haven't heard it yet, go and have a listen to Uddingston Strathclyde and their opener. Yeah, and come back to me. You can tell me how awesome it is. Yeah, brilliant. But it's such a great grade. So many good bands. It's going to be difficult to rise up to that top 6 conversation in 3A with a lot of bands in the mix.
That was Pitlochry band. That's their first contest this season. That was their first time out this year. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Shout out to Pitlochry and Blair Athol. Yeah, well done. So, right, I don't know. Where are we going to try and predict 3A? I think there's one band already in the conversation, but as for the rest of the bands, could be possible dark horses. Every other band in there. And, of course, there's the international contingent as well. We just don't know. So, good luck, folks. All right, so, Adrian, I'm going to throw it to you, buddy, then, for grade 2. Do you want to give us the results for the ridiculous grade?
Yep, Scottish champions for grade 2, Royal Borough of Annan.
Go on, Royal Borough.
In second place was Uddingston with an ensemble preference.
Yes, that ensemble preference coming to play. Yeah.
Third place was Manor Cunningham.
Go on, the Manor. Yeah.
Fourth place was Buck and Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth place, Bucksburn and District.
Yeah.
And in sixth place was St. Joseph's.
There you go. Yeah. So that was your top 6. Now, there's been some selections played in this grade. I have heard quite a number of the recordings from this. And I don't know. Do you ever do this whenever you're listening to stuff at home and you try to be your own armchair judge? You know, and then you have all the bands placed and then you look at the summary sheets and find you got it all wrong?
Yeah.
Well, that was me, listening to the recordings of what I've managed to find from grade 2. But clearly, Royal Borough have been absolutely dominating again here in grade 2. Such a great day at the office. Yeah, did anybody get a chance to hear Royal Borough? No, all shaking heads, no. That's a shame. Hi, 2 firsts and piping, drumming ensemble, they swept the boards, so a very convincing win. Yeah. But again, Yeah, and I don't know, again, having to split bands with ensemble preference between Uddingston and Manor. Like, I heard Manor Cunningham at the All-Irelands, absolutely blew my socks off. They were absolutely amazing. So, I don't know, Adrian, you're like me, you probably heard Manor as well this year. How have you thought of Manor?
They're in with a good chance.
They are, yeah.
I think they're in with a good chance now. They're up there. There's not much in it, so...
No, that's it. Yeah, similar to Uddingston.
Ridiculous grade.
Yeah. Uddingston as well, with, of course, Craig Laurie in the back line, although we had that announcement from Craig. We talked about that earlier in the news and updates. Yeah. But they're absolutely cooking too. You know I keep saying that, but it's the only phrase that comes to mind right now. You know, I'm thinking of a pot on a stove and it's coming to the boil right now. And these bands are hitting form, you know.
Yep, and I will shout out for Tully Lagan, lifting third in the drumming.
Absolutely. Go on, the Lagan. There you go. Not that we're biased at all. Yeah.
No, oh my God.
Well done,
but
Tully
no, good
Lagan.
result for them on the drumming end now.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, like, you look at the summary sheets here for the ridiculous grade and you can see how tough it's been for the judges, you know.
Yeah.
It's such a mixed bag. And I know that if I was standing in there with a clipboard, I'd probably just set the clipboard down and walk out because I could not do it. There's no chance I could do it. Stuart, what are your thoughts on the grade, man? Have you heard many bands in here that's been in the mix?
Yeah, I have over the last couple of contests. Royal Borough of Annan, they're on fire at the moment. Same with Uddingston. It's going to be a really, really tough day at the Worlds.
Yeah.
For anybody to win that. There's half a dozen bands there that could win that. So they just have to be on it on the day.
That's it.
But yeah, the Annan are really, really good. Really, really good at the moment.
And I think that, you know, whenever it comes down to our World's Prediction Pod, which will be our episode 500, you may as well just throw darts at a dartboard. So, yeah, good luck, folks.
And with the qualifiers this year for them too.
Well, that's it as well on the Friday. Yeah, so that's another additional extra that we haven't had to contend with before.
Yeah.
Well, for a while. So that's another spanner in the works. Yeah. Ewan, what's your thoughts, mate, on the ridiculous grade?
As it is the ridiculous grade.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just looking at, you know, at least what in this 15 positions there. I'm sure at some point this season, every one of those bands has been mentioned somewhere in a major or contest this year. That's why, as you say, it's it'd be easier picking the lottery numbers. You know, it's just absolutely, But Royal Borough of Annan are just absolutely fantastic. Absolutely so good.
Yeah.
Buck and Peterson, you know, and Tex D side.
Yeah,
it's Adrian, Tully Lagan, they could all be. Oh, it's just,
That's it. I'm going to shout out the Mac Cals just because I love their medley. Shout out to the Mackenzie Caledonian. Johnstone pipe band as well. Their drum corps in particular, I really seem to enjoy their drumming. Their bass section's really good. So I don't know. We're going to spend all day going through each band and why we love them. So we need to move on. Looking at grade one. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say we should put a play out to those bands next season. Can you make it easier for us?
Yes, please. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. Right. So, grade one, they haven't made it easy for us again here. So we have another major, another champion, and well done, Inverary and District Scottish champions for 2026. Go on, Inverary. Now, these are the overall positions, by the way. I'm not going through medley MSR just yet. In second place was the Field Marshal Montgomery, the Mighty FM, yes. And in third place on cumulative ensemble preference, People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate, Caledonia. Yeah, CEP as it's listed here. Yeah. In fourth place, we had St. Lawrence O'Toole. Well done, St. Lawrence. And they lifted the drumming title as well. So well done, St. Lawrence. Fifth place, we had Police Scotland Fife. And in sixth place, the Mighty Shots. There you are. So that was your grade one. And the results just weren't as easy calculated this year, I feel. Like, this is when I'm going to get into medley and MSR. Ewan, you were there for the entirety of the competition take us through the MSR, first of all. How did that run?
It was... I just couldn't tell in any shape or form who was going to... was outstanding. It was extremely good. I have to say, I was impressed with Fife. Police Fife. They were...
Oh, right.
Yeah, they were really good. And MSR, I just liked the whole... It just seemed to settle and flow. I quite like mixed scores for them too. It was ideal. O'Toole's, I thought, was it the All Ireland that they took?
Yes.
On the MSR, I'm thinking, they're going to be there too. But again, it's impossible. It's literally impossible.
It is. Yeah, I agree. I think for me, my particular highlight from the MSR competition, I'm going to throw myself under the bus here, but I absolutely love Shots. Shots MSR performance really seemed to hit the ground with something intangible. I can't tell you what it is, but just when they hit that first 2 bars of their opener, I'm like, oh, this is something else. So, Shots hit that line with something and placed in 4th in MSR on ensemble preference. For me personally, I might have had them a bit higher, but I'm not there with the clipboard, Also wanted to mention Rivara as well, especially Matthew and their drum corps. Like, they've been really singing this year, playing some real good stuff. But hey, shout out to People's Ford, Bog Hall and Bathgate, who lifted the MSR competition. They actually split the piping in the MSR with Inverary, our champions, on the day.
Yeah.
So again, it tells you how tight things were. And that was just the MSR competition. Ewan, where do you begin with the medleys, mate?
Yeah. I wish I was down at like grade 3 at that point. Yeah. Absolutely outstanding. And I'm going to admit, I got very emotional when Inverary came on and they played the Dream Valley because the Worlds last year, Stuart had a tear. Well, this year, one of the tenor drummers, she had a tear, and I'm not the best at seeing someone like. And she was as we're coming up, she was breathing, but absolutely phenomenal. But like you're saying, I was really impressed with Rivara. I liked Rivara. I liked the whole medley. It's just like, where do you go? But then again, see the whole Gordon Duncan tribute from Fuel Marshall. That I just love that opening tune, that Ian Green. It's just it's a great tune. But then again, the drumming, where do you go with that?
Who knows?
Where do you go with that? It's just like, guys, come on, have a word with yourselves. You have to make it.
Make it easy for us pundits, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There you go.
It's just phenomenal.
It is. Adrian, I'm going to ask your thoughts then, mate, on the action in Grade 1 at the Scottish. Did you manage to get a chance to hear any music from this?
I didn't, because, as I say, drum majors were on around the same time. It was it was a long day standing down there, and then the time they had finished and I got a bite to eat, I just got a chance. I just got a chance to get Tullylagan and then getting ready for the finale.
There you go. Yeah. But I'm sure you've heard back to the recordings and stuff. Has there been any highlights that you've heard so far? Any ones that stand out?
As you say, the likes of Shots there, them first couple of bars and all, just hitting that straight away.
Yeah.
And again, as Ewan said, Inverary, their medley, unbelievable.
Yeah. Again, it's the intangibles. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's just something there, man, I don't know. Stuart, what about you, mate? Have you any thoughts on the Grade 1?
Well, I had a wander around while some of the bands are tuning up. I've caught Field Marshal and sorry, who did I catch? It was People's Ford I caught. And I was like, good luck to them with the clipboards, because wow. You can't split them. Well, obviously they have to split them on the day, but you're like, wow, come on.
That's it. I think that's it. It's down to the intangibles now at this point. The stuff that you just can't put your finger on, because you're never going to get a mistake, an error, bad blowing, anything like that. You're not going to get that in Grade 1. But so it's down to how the music kind of affects you are you going to go in there and like absolutely melt the face of the ensemble judge and lift the thing? Or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that clearly that medley selection from Field Marshal, that Gordon Duncan tribute set is electric right now. And judges are liking it by the looks of things. But also Dream Valley medley from Inverary, as you say, it's an emotional piece and it comes across and is a real winner for sure. Yeah. Can I mention St. Lawrence O'Toole? Oh my God. Wow. What Stephen and the backline are doing there at St. Lawrence is so musical, and it just lifts the whole thing, especially when it comes in to the breakout of the slow air. It just seems to rise from there, and it's so enjoyable to listen to. I don't know. They hit the line with aggression, and then it eases off, and it comes to flow, and then it's into the slow air, and you're kind of relaxed, and then suddenly it starts to build again before they start kicking you in the teeth for the end. It's just insane. So many good medleys, man.
Yeah, same with the Tuning Park recording of the drum corps.
Oh, yeah.
The one was ridiculous, even just in the Tuning Park.
Even just the drum corps on their own.
Yeah. The bass drummer. Oh my word! I was watching the bass drummer quite a bit, and I'm thinking, it's almost like he's hardly touching that drum.
So subtle.
I like when he just gets so much into the music and he's just going for it. It was phenomenal. Yeah. I think the only way they can decide who wins is, was there a cloud out? Was there not a cloud out? You know what I mean? It's about the only way you could do it. Yeah,
that's it. I don't know.
It's a great contest.
I have visions of the judges sitting in their wee tents, spinning a bottle or something. Right, who are we going to pick, lads? Who's first? We just don't know. Come on. But hey, congratulations to our overall champions, Inverary District, stepped away with the title, and that has just threw the cat amongst the pigeons now for the big one, hasn't it? Yeah. So, who's going to lift the worlds is anyone's guess. And that we haven't even mentioned, the international contingent. When we're talking about your Simon Frasers, your 78s, Hawthorne, all these other bands that are going to be in there. I don't know. Have these guys got gum shields and head guards and stuff like that? Start throwing digs,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave you with some final thoughts then, folks, on Dumbarton and the Scottish Championships and where we are at this point in the season. Ewan, I'm going to start with yourself, mate. What are your final thoughts on the Scottish Championships?
I enjoy it. Fantastic. I like the park. I like the venue. It was just good. The other thing I should say about the Grade 1 arena, I like the way that is. It's on a former bowling green, so it's got a beach hedge around. It's just a nice setting. But I think overall, it's just fantastic.
Successful day.
Very successful day, yeah.
Stuart, what about yourself, mate?
Dumbarton wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. The part was all right. And getting parked and getting played. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good day.
I think one of the big criticisms was the timing, the time element of it. It did rattle on a bit. Started late, finished late. Weren't quite under flood lamps, but pretty close.
Almost. They were taking arenas down when we were actually on the trigger line.
Wow,
Our
really?
arena was still up, yeah.
And they were stacking chairs up as you were leaving?
Yeah. The arena just across from where ours was, they were dismantling the fencing and whatnot. So
that's distracting. It's almost like they wanted you out of there.
Almost, yeah.
It's like you're in a bar and they shout last orders and they start lifting chairs away. Wow. So, Adrian, what about yourself, mate? What was your thoughts on the Scottish?
Yeah, great day. Venue, again, was brilliant. I know those ones maybe had thought the likes of the moving of the fun fair and stuff like that would have made a big impact, but I don't think it really did. They weren't allowed to play any music or anything like that from the fun fair, so...
Yeah. That kind of thing, you kind of stole my final thoughts there, mate. But that is 100%. You're on the money there. Yeah, we got a lot of comments talking about the layout of the venue, but I think overall the standard of the music didn't suffer, and the competition definitely didn't. We talked all about it there. So I think personally, it was a pretty well-run event, very successful. Congratulations to the RSPBA again on another cracking event. We have some food for thought now on what it's like to run a free event. Just going to say that. And also when there's maybe a few less people running about with high vis on. Ooh. Yep. Controversial, Rab. But yeah, a very successful event, and well done to all of our Scottish champions. If any of you has finished in that top 6 spot, you deserve a pint in the beer tent. Well done. Yeah. And you've all give us a nightmare when it comes to episode 500. I don't know what we're going to do here, lads. Nightmare. Anyway, so that's it for another topic of the week. If there's anything that we've been talking about on this week's show or any other show, you can email us in bigrabshow@gmail.com. Let us know about all the stuff that we got wrong. Or, of course, you can send us in your own weekly drone as well. Go to our website, that big button. And, JD will read it out on the future show. All right, folks, that's it. We're out the door. Thank you all for downloading this week, and we'll see you all in the next one. Until then, cheerio from all of us. All the best.
Well, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thanks so much for downloading this week, and a special thank you to our sponsor, G1 Reeds. Played by bands around the world, they are the champion's choice. Check out g1reeds.com for all of your piping needs. Don't forget to check out thebigrabshow.com to be kept up to date with all of the latest news and views from around the piping world. And also, check us out on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get your hands on tons of extra piping goodness and be a part of the Patreon faithful. So, until next week, folks, we'll see you right here on the Big Rab Show podcast. All the best.